I've created an AI mini-me bot that can write thousands of social media posts in seconds, but not just any social media posts. These are packed with personal information to me, so they don't feel like automation and spam, and they are going to grow the presence of my business on social media effortlessly. And today I'm going to teach you how to do exactly the same thing. So the first thing you're going to want to do is create a personal proof point document that the AI can access. And so the easiest way to do this is to just grab a copy of your CV or really any kind of work-based stuff that you're particularly proud of. You're going to drop all of that stuff into ChatGPT. What you're then going to do is give it this prompt. There are two documents attached, my CV and a portfolio document. You want to name those both in quotes. I want you to read them, then create a list of short 1 to 2 sentence personal proof points that I can use to reinforce my own personal credibility in industry X. Obviously replacing that with your own industry. Anonymize any brand names. And what this will then do is give you a document that just has everything listed down one by one, all of the best things that you've done in your work, that you've spent time collating in your CV and your portfolio documents. Now, I'm not going to show you mine, but suffice it to say, I've taken that document, I've saved it down, and then you can save that for later. Step 2 is that we're now going to start to build out your own personal profile. And the way to do that is a 5-step process. So the first thing you want to get is your tone. The next thing you want to look at is your expertise areas. Then 3 is your values. 4 is your style. And then 5 is example scenarios of how you tend to respond to different things. So when you're looking at tone, you're looking for things like, are you serious? Are you jovial? Do you like to make light of things and use humor, or do you have a more business-like tone? Things like this. When you're looking at your expertise areas, again, you're going to be using what is perfect for you in your particular industry. So for me, that's things like digital marketing. It's things like automation marketing. It's things like integrating AI, and then things like leadership, team building, that kind of stuff. You want to list these out in bullet points. Then values. What kinds of things do you really take home as your values? Is it things like trust? Is it things like transparency? Things like empathy, maybe? Things like analytical mindset? Are you more logical or emotional in your decision making? Then in terms of style, this is really about your writing style. So do you like short, snappy lines? Do you like to write in a more kind of lengthy and drawn out prose? I would suggest that for social media posts, if that's particularly what you're doing, and you want to make it as concise and information packed as possible. Of course, if you're doing things for, let's say, Substack or lengthier social media posts, then that's not always going to be the case. And then finally, on scenarios, you want to throw out a few things that you might engage with. So if you're discussing, for me, if I'm discussing marketing, then I might want to reference these different proof points. If I'm discussing AI, then I might want to talk about this. For you, you're going to have different scenarios in your industry that you want to let AI agent know it needs to respond in this kind of way or that kind of way. So once you've got notes on all of this stuff, you just want to write it all down in bullet points. It doesn't matter if it's well crafted or well written, because what you're going to do is drop it into ChatGPT and you're going to ask the AI to create a system prompt for you. Now, this is a system prompt is really telling the chatbot assistant who it is. And in this case, it is you. So you want to ask ChatGPT for a system prompt along the different headings that you've already built out. Then you hit enter and you will get your system prompt. Here's a look at mine. As you can see, you're Tom Edwards, a highly skilled digital marketing director and AI enthusiast. You specialize in integrated marketing, creative strategy, and AI-driven solutions. As you can see, all of this good stuff that is about me probably makes me sound a little bit more competent than I am, but hey, this is marketing. Am I right? Now that we've got that, what you're going to want to do is hop on over to the OpenAI developer platform. And here, hop over to your dashboard. And here you can see on the left-hand side, you've got an array of options. What you're going to pick is assistants. And here you can see that I have made my own, but what you're going to do is hit create, and then it's going to give you all of this option here. So you name it Tommy GPT, and then here you drop in the system instructions. You can then choose what model you want to use, and then here you want to turn on file search. And what I've done is I've uploaded that list of personal proof points. So now it's got all of these really specific things about me that it can draw upon when writing content on my behalf. And then here you've got a few options. And so I've got the temperature here set to 0.8. Now temperature really, as you can see, it's to do with randomness. So it says here lowering results in less random completions. I've actually lowered the temperature down from 1 to 0.8. Now that's quite conservative, but it means that it's less likely to make kind of crazy errors and hallucinations. It's going to be more bang on the point that I'm trying to get it to. So top P, again, this is to do with the sampling, and it's quite similar to temperature in that it just gives you less diversity of words to choose from if it's higher. So again, I've brought it down slightly to 0.8. Once your assistant is created, it's time to start writing content. And so to do that, I'm going to use make.com. Here, I'm in a brand new scenario. And so you can really do all sorts here. But for the example I'm going to use today, what I'm going to do is build a scenario using Perplexity. And I'm going to ask it to create a chat completion. Now, Perplexity, for those of you that don't know, is like a search engine with AI built in. ChatGPT has now got web search built in, but Perplexity was really the OG of this stuff. It's better for building automations because not all of the API options from ChatGPT have access to web search. So your assistant won't be able to search the web, but Perplexity will. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop in here, give me today's most exciting AI story. And then the role here is user. And then we're going to hit OK. And then we're going to add another module. And here is where our assistant comes into play. So here you can see I've got my connection set up with make.com, which you'll have to do. But then once you're in, you can message an assistant, and here you will see it's giving me the option to talk to Tommy GPT. So now what I'm going to do, write a message, and then I want to say read content and write a post for LinkedIn discussing the news. Now we're going to hit OK. And then if I run this once down here at the bottom, you can see Perplexity has run its search. And now Tommy GPT has come back with the results. And here you can see the output content. And here we've got the post, which is written about this story about something called MovieNet, which actually looks kind of interesting. The MovieNet, of course, being, when I click into the Perplexity AI result here, you can take a look and you can see that it has returned this, a story about MovieNet, an AI that watches videos. And so it has gone out, found me an interesting story about AI, it sent it to Tommy GPT, and then Tommy GPT has written social post for me in my style, is all about MovieNet. What I can then do is drop this into an Airtable. Here you can see I've already set this up, so I'm going to ask it to create a record. Base, we're going to go to AI RSS content, which I've already built previously. Table 1, again, I've already got this set up in Airtable. Now all we want to do is drop the result into copy here. And I'm going to say OK. And now it's been run. You'll see that Airtable has a big tick next to it as well. So it's created a record. And if I go into my records here, you can see story has dropped in and that's ready to be posted, written in the style of me. Now there's one final thing that I want to show you here, because remember that I asked you to create all of those proof points that it can draw upon. Now obviously if we're commenting on the news, it's not always going to be that simple to work in personal proof points, and frankly nor would you want to. The story about MovieNet obviously hasn't had to draw on any of the personal proof points that I've made because the stories aren't about me. It's still interesting to write about news for LinkedIn, but I'm not going to drop in, my personal case studies. However, sometimes you might want to. This is LinkedIn after all. So what you can also do is create an automation that is just the OpenAI module. If you open it up, here I've done this one already, and you can see that I've created it for Tommy GPT, and here I'm asking it to read the personal proof points document, choose one, and then write a LinkedIn post explaining what lessons you learned and how it might help others. Make sure the key data point is the first line of the post, giving an example here, and the final line should be a call to action. And so as you can see, I'm in make.com, but because I've built the assistant on the OpenAI developer platform, I can speak to all of those proof points, and this can generalize out across many different documents and across many different automations. So if I run this one, let's take a look at what it comes back with. Tested it once and it worked okay, so let's take a look and see what we've got. Content, Here we go. I helped a global telecom leader increase traffic by 500%. Here's what I learned. So it's done exactly what I asked for. Precision targeting is key, data-driven decisions, creative consistency. So again, you can see it's pulling in lots of this stuff that I've already listed out in that personal proof points document. So it's super relevant to me. And so when I'm posting it, I'm talking about my own relevant experience. It's just that I've condensed it down into an AI assistant that can speak on my behalf. So from here, I can obviously then go in, add another Airtable module, and then I can drop those into here. This is another story which I'll maybe talk about in another video. Now you know how to make your own AI Mini-Me. Be sure to subscribe. You do not want to miss out on the next awesome AI tool. See you next time.